Hello friends and welcome to my channel. So friends, here comes another session on She Stoops to Conquer by Oliver Goldsmith. Friends, in the previous session I have discussed about the summary of She Stoops to Conquer, its character list and the aptness of the title of She Stoops to Conquer. So friends, if you want to check these things out, then please check out the description box. I'll provide the link. So in today's session I'm going to discuss the answer of the question that She Stoops to Conquer is a comedy of intrigue than a comedy of character. Argue your answer. This question also comes like examine Goldsmith's use of comic devices in She Stoops to Conquer, or the incidents in She Stoops to Conquer are so designated as not to seem improbable. Do you agree? So let's start today's session. Actually friends, Goldsmith took the theme of this drama She Stoops to Conquer from his real life incident. And what was the incident? Goldsmith, as a schoolboy, when having lost his way, he asked for an inn, and he was directed by a practical joker to the local squire's house. So from that real life incident, Goldsmith draws the plot of She Stoops to Conquer. Okay, so the main events of the play means She Stoops to Conquer, tends to be a farce arising from ridiculous situations and incidents. There is no doubt that some of the incidents seem to be improbable and absurd at first sight. The dramatist has taken great pains to make them credible and convincing by employing a number of comic devices in the form of intrigues. So here the important thing is that the intrigues in the play are the comic devices, okay? About She Stoops to Conquer, R.F. Patterson goes on to say that She Stoops to Conquer is a splendid comedy of intrigue. Friends, here the word intrigue is used in a positive way. It doesn't mean negative conspiracies, okay? So a comedy of intrigue depends on an intricate plot full of surprises. The form means the comedy of intrigue. This type of form of drama originated in Spain and was largely based on the work of four famous dramatists who were Vega, Molina, Alarcon and Moore. A comedy of intrigue is largely situational, and the situations more often than not are farcical, causing much exaggerated, loud and boisterous laughter. The knowledge of the audience about a situation and the ignorance of the player on the stage results in dramatic improbability. Often the characters talk and act a cross purpose with each other to the great delight of the audience and the readers. So from this paragraph, it is clear that a comedy of intrigue is situational, means it based on the situations. In a comedy of intrigue, the audience knows the real situation, but the players or the characters are ignorant about it, okay? So in She Stoops to Conquer, there are numerous intrigues, and practically all the characters are intriguers as well as the victims of some intrigue or the other, okay? So the intrigues may be enumerated as follows. So at first, Tony Lumpkin, who was the son of Mrs. Hardcastle and the stepson to Mr. Hardcastle. So Tony is a kind of mischievous, uneducated playboy. So Tony is the main trickster or the intriguer in this play. At first he plays a trick on Marlowe and Hastings. When Marlowe and Hastings, while going to the house of Mr. Hardcastle, asked Tony about the direction of the house, then Tony misleads him. He told them that Mr. Hardcastle's house was an inn, okay? And in the end, he also plays a trick upon his own mother. His own mother was Mrs. Hardcastle. He plays a trick on his mother and helps Constance Neville and Hastings to elope. Then the next is the intrigue of Kate Hardcastle, who stoops to the level of a barmaid in order to conquer the heart of her object of love, who was Marlowe or young Marlowe. So actually friends, young Marlowe was very shy towards any well-born lady. That's why in order to know the real nature of Marlowe and in order to make him in his comfort zone, Kate Hardcastle stoops as a barmaid, okay? Then we have the next intrigue, which was played by Constance Neville and Tony Lumpkin. So actually, Mrs. Hardcastle means Tony's mother wants Tony and Constance Neville's marriage, okay? But Tony doesn't want this. Constance Neville is also in love with Hastings. That's why Tony and Constance Neville plot an intrigue to delude Mrs. Hardcastle into thinking that they are in love. Then there comes another intrigue which was done by Hastings. So Hastings also plot an intrigue against Marlowe by not telling him that The inn was not an inn but the house of Mr. and Mrs. Hardcastle, and thus the house of Miss Hardcastle. And that Miss Hardcastle is not an innkeeper at all but the daughter of Mr. Hardcastle, okay? Another intrigue was performed by Mr. and Mrs. Hardcastle. So they plots an intrigue against Tony by keeping him under the illusion that he has not yet come to age to grab the property, though in fact, actually, Tony attained majority much earlier, okay? So they are all the intrigues that are played by the characters of the play, okay? So Dr. Johnson in this context thinks that the intrigues and incidents in She Stoops to Conquer are so prepared for as not to seem improbable. The intrigues move forward swiftly, the story is all absorbing in its interest, suspension is kept up throughout, and the spectators remain unconscious about the improbabilities. There is no doubt that some of the incidents and intrigues seem to be improbable at first sight, but a close reading of the play shows that the dramatist has used appropriate comic devices to make them credible. So thus, from the above discussion, it can be said that in She Stoops to Conquer, the intrigues and improbabilities are so managed as to create fun and amusement. Intrigues depend on situation, and in a comedy there are situational fun as well as the humor of characters. The play is remarkable for creating this situational fun through intrigues, and the characters have significant role in developing the naughty situations. Here the characters are deceived and the humor arises out of the different levels of awareness both of the characters and the audience. So that's it, friends. Thank you so very much for watching this video, and if you have any queries on any topic of English literature, then please comment below so that I can make a video of it. So bye for now. See you in the next session very soon.